Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Boozers here. Today's video we're going to do a small champion spotlight on a champion that was a past fusion and was kind of highly regarded as totally trash, totally skippable, and yeah, just generally not favored in the community. It was by chance that I actually fused this champion, because personally I wasn't even going to go for this champion as well, but I pulled two epics from the fusion. It was a classic fusion, and then I decided to finish off two of the epics and just fuse her, just for the sake of it, because you never know. And you know, of course, many months later Hydra came out and this champion actually became relevant. And I don't use her as often today since I have better champions, but she was very good for me when I was using her. So let's introduce you guys to the mother Cybele. So back in the day when she was announced, she was a fusion, classic fusion, obviously considered more difficult. She was not looked upon very favorably. She was actually universally kind of panned. People found her kit very quirky, didn't have really, it had like a theme, like kind of a revival, healing kind of theme, but it was really quirky and people couldn't find a use case for her. But let's go over her kit real quick. So she's a little bit low on HP. I believe she's an HP based champion. She has good defense, really fast speed. That was actually really important. She's actually faster than Arbor. Arbor is 110. She has a speed aura, which is the fastest in the game, I believe, for all battles, similar to Lysandra. Very, very good aura. And her A1 attacks all enemies, has a booked up 50% chance to place a 30 big decreased speed for 2 turns. Also boosts the turn meter by 15%. So she speeds herself up, AoEs, decreased speed. That's actually a really, really strong A1. As far as A1 goes, it's really strong. The negative takes 6 books to fully book her out. That's real big negative. Okay, so her A2 places a revive on death on all allies, and a increased defense. So it's kind of like a survival skill. 3 cooldown books, so down to 3 turns, very reasonable. A champion like Sky Touch Shaman has, I believe, a 4-turn cooldown on a cleanse and a revive on death. Cardio has a 3-turn version with the cleanse and the revive on death. So this one is obviously not as good as Cardio's, which is a cleanse, but this does place increased defense, which is something that you can't really find too often on champions that are like actually useful, super useful. So it's actually a decent move, not super insane, but decent. Her A3, this is where it gets kind of weird and you get the whole text box. If this champion's HP, it swaps HP with an ally, so you get to heal or remove health from an ally, and then you get a bunch of text that happens. So she gets a bunch of special buffs if she has less or more health, and it books down to a 3-turn cooldown. So we're staring at, what are we staring at? We're staring at 12 books right now. Yeah, we're staring at 12 books right now, and they're all super high value books. She has to be booked to be usable, because she needs this debuff chance and she needs these cooldowns. So you see how many books. 3-turn cooldown, very kind of useful in some fringe cases, but obviously it's not going to be, so far there's nothing super insane that we can do with this. Her passive, it's kind of cool. Fully heals the ally with the lowest HP when this champion is killed. Heals all allies by 20% of their max HP. Fills their turn meter by 15% when this champion is revived. So you get some weird synergies here. When she dies, obviously she's not going to be very easy to die, because you want to build her as a support, kind of tanky, survival. I've seen some arena teams where people build her kind of glassy. It's kind of weird. You can do some weird stuff. So the kit just doesn't make sense, or it was hard to make sense. But when Hydra came out, this skill was #1. First of all, the Head of Torment was kind of like buggy, the way it was working with Retribution. So the turn meter was boosting on everybody. Everyone's getting a ton of attacks before the Hydras. That got fixed, okay? And then Mother Cybele wasn't used that much. But Mother Cybele is still very useful against Hydra with the decreased speed AoE. Because if you don't have decreased speed on the Hydra heads, you need a really, really fast team to get more turns. but any kind of turn meter boost or speed manipulation against the Hydra team will increase your damage against the Hydras and also give you more time to recover and control the Hydras. So decreased speed AoE is obviously going to be very good. She pairs extremely well with Cybele versus the Head of Torment, because the turn meter boost allows her to basically, she's a machine gun. She's just like pew 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 pew. So many decreased speeds, so many AoE so many AoE damages happening to all the heads. Definitely give her Brimstone if you guys have a blessing for her, and she's gonna pump out some damage. She's gonna pump out some real damage. So I'm gonna show you guys how I built her. Right here, this is how I built. I actually built her in very like average gear. This is just total leftover gear. I didn't really optimize it too much, and she's kind of made for brutal or less. She doesn't have enough accuracy to do nightmare. I gave her damage, so I gave her damage. She's decently survivable, and she's decently quick. She gave her a little bit of healing with the Immortal set. Mastery, she's in War Master. And yeah, like I just want to show that this is a very average looking build. This champion is very not very looked up on, but she's very useful. She's very useful in Hydra, especially for the A1. So all you have to do is just use her A1 all the time. And if you run into situations where you need to use this Revive on Death, maybe the Head of Wrath is getting ready to unload his big AoE on your team, and then you want to make sure your team survives, so you put the AoE Revive on Death. Or you can health swap somebody that's really important or a fragile champion. So you can do some stuff like that if you want to manual her. But her main role is the AoE decreased speed, and she can pump out some damage too. She actually has some other roles where she actually has some teams centered around Sand Devil. So the Revive on Death allows her to basically bring you back your team when the Sand Devil kills your team, and then your team can start chewing down the Sand Devil. There's also some teams where she is used for Bommel, again Revive on Death. So basically, obviously she's replaceable in those type of teams, and those teams are very niche strategies, but she does have some use. Also, if you put her in a stun set, she can do a lot of work as well in waves, Doom Tower waves, Faction Wars. So yeah, she's definitely was considered like a total skip, total Garbo, but she's definitely found some use, right? She's not bad. She's not bad. All right. So I actually have a run here in Hydra. I'll show you guys a video of my run with her, and this is brutal. Brutal difficulty. So she's set up in the lead here with Cybele. This is the perfect setup. Cybele, her, and then Torment. And then we got Provoke, max HP damage, HP burn, and Leech to sustain our team, decrease defense and block buffs, and then Cybele for Torment control. So we can quickly jump into this. I'm going to speed up the playback, go through the first couple minutes and speed through the playback here. All right. So you see her, it's only 50% chance. Obviously affinity plays a role here, but you'll see how many turns she gets, and you guys might notice that she actually has there was some instances where I did use the Revive on Death, and it was actually pretty useful. So yeah, I think she's a very decent champion. She's easy to keep alive. She's super fast. Yeah, so she's easy to make fast because obviously speed scales up and all that, and she can do some damage, especially with the Cybele and the Torment in the lead role. And of course her aura is very good, the best speed aura in the game for all battles. Okay, so we got a bunch of this is actually a really good run. We controlled the heads really good, dealt a lot of damage. So I'm gonna let this guy run, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video, end of the run. All right, sorry about that. My fat fingers actually hit the playback button. You guys get the idea. So we're nearing the end here. Nearing the end of the fight. Of course, our run ends because of the head of Wrath doing his Wrath stuff. So, and that's going to be the end of that. Otherwise, it was going super smooth. So, hopefully, this shows that at least Mother Cybele is viable to at least be a leader in a team. This team has pretty good supports. But, yeah, Cybele doing the decreased speed and some support. Decent amount of damage, not too insane. Similar to almost the same as Inquisitor Shamel. If she has Brimstone, she definitely does way more damage. Bivol, has Brimstone and deals less damage than Mother Cybele. So, yeah. So this team, it's obviously a decent enough team. Well geared for Bruto. 19 minutes manual, so definitely can be faster with an auto team. And yeah, she could be in better gear. She could be in like regen gear, or obviously stun gear if you're using her for other PvE content. I can go over that team real quick. I think most of my champions are spoken for. Most of them are basically in Relentless. I do have where is she? Tila. Yeah, Tila I haven't really showcased too much, but I really like her kit. After the update, it's been really good. She does a lot of healing, a lot of damage from the HP burns and Hex. I have her in Guardian gear, decent HP, decent speed, some damage, War Master, and in Guardian gear to support the team. Good. She has good base stats too, good base HP, decent defense. Bivol, I did a showcase on Bivol recently. Make him fast with resistance, enough accuracy, decent HP, and yeah, and he can do a lot of work for you. Mother Cybele, again, here's the build, very generic gear, much worse than the other champions actually. So she was getting semi carried. But you can see here she can definitely get some better gear. But like I said, I don't really use her much anymore. I just want to show that she is viable. I was using a husk. I believe this was my reflex husk. So here we go. Here's some stats. Here's the gear. And Shameo was in Relentless. Similar build with my other account. And Ugo was, I believe, in Relentless. Yes, Relentless. With speed, accuracy, HP. Alright guys, I hope you guys found this video helpful, insightful. Maybe you guys pulled Mother Cybele somewhere along the line and you guys were like, oh, I hate everything. But she's actually pretty good. And like I said, if you guys have better gear or have a random gear set laying around, maybe in stun, she's actually a pretty good candidate for that, especially if you're struggling for like wave content and so forth. The problem with her, I think, is the 12 books. The 12 books that go into her feel kind of bad just because, yeah, she's mandatory, needs books to use it. Even if you don't want to use these two skills, which is debatable, you don't really that's reasonable actually to not use these and just focus on this. You really want the increased the debuff chance, because 25% is just not going to cut it. So yeah, it feels kind of bad. If you land 6 here, then you could be good to go. But yeah, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one.